learn as we go.
So I talked to you a little bit about make sure you screen and if they have pain. When you do passive motion, you always want to look at their face. So generally you want to be in a position where you can see them, because you want to watch. There are some people that are over dramatic and they're going to be like, ah, that hurts. And then there are going to be people that are like, they're squinting, they're wrinkling up their nose, they're grimacing, and you'll say, how does this feel? And they're like, what are they going to say?
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I can take it. Oh, like no pain, no gain, right? No.
Pain's weakly sleeving the body.
Yeah. So you know what? You should be watching for that. And I was going to say, if they grimace on that, if I go ahead and I move his arm and there's no pain, there's not going to be any grimace on that. If he puts it back and I said, Drew, how's that feel? And he's like, fine. My next question to him is being, why are you grimacing? Okay? You're wrinkling up your nose, you're biting your lip, whatever it is. And unless he had an itch on his lip that he was trying to get to explain to me, I'd say, this isn't supposed to hurt. Okay? You won't get better. And I talked to you guys back there about you don't push into pain with passive range of motion and hope that they're going to get better. Because all you're going to get is you're going to get irritated, angry tissue. It's like having a blister on your heel from wearing the wrong pair of shoes and then thinking if I just keep rubbing it, it's going to feel better. If you crank on that and keep getting pain there, that tissue's going to be angry and they're not going to be very happy tomorrow. So make sure you're watching them. The other thing I was going to tell you about passive range of motion, not so much for the neck, and I was going to say maybe a little, is I use it as an assessment tool a lot. Okay? So, I don't know, it was about a week or so ago, I had somebody, I can't lift my arm more than this high. Okay? And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay? Can't lift his arm up. When I do passive range of motion for him in all planes, it's full. Does that hurt? Nope, doesn't hurt. So I was going to say, there's nothing wrong with his joint movement, anything else. The pulley system or the muscles that are moving that are somehow not working, and that way it helps me guide what exercises I give him. So I use it as an assessment tool too, to see how he's doing. If somebody has, like, let's say with the neck, let's say they're like, oh, that hurts. Oh, like whenever I go to laugh, that kills. But when I lay them passively, they can go all the way. You think they have any restriction in their joint? No, it's all muscle. So you can use this as an assessment tool too, to kind of get a feel for how the joint moves. When you move a joint like the shoulder, you want to support the distal joint segments. So you can see I've got a hand here and I've got one here. Technically, maybe by your book, you could do this. I can tell you with a new shoulder, they're going to guard on you. They don't feel supportive. So the closer you can get them, the more square footage with them up against you, the better that it feels. What's the direction for my thumb? Does it matter? Do I do this way or do I do this way? Up, okay. So when you move them passively, you're going to want that thumb up. So I've got them here. I've got them close up to me. If they're not, and let's say you've got a table, just say, hey, could you scoot closer to me? You're good like that. But just ask them to move, okay? So I've got my distal ends supported. I'm going to go into flexion. I'm going to go in as low or as deep as he can go. I'm looking for trying to get an end feel off the joint. And Drew's actually like, I got it to 180. That's all I need. Okay. When you do the passive range, if you have to go down low, like the massage, use your legs to lunge position to do that. So that is my flexion. Okay. No, you don't necessarily. They've been hanging out here, you don't necessarily have to start there. Sometimes when people start, initially, maybe they're like my slap lesion and they can't go that high, so I can hold them here, and I still have the whole forearm supported here, because I'm just going to 90, okay? So you may, depending on how they come up, you may say, I have different arm holds as I come down. Does that make sense? Okay, for abduction, if I thought they had a restriction just to 90, and I would say, I have his elbow bent, does it matter if his elbow's bent, you think? Or is it straight? Yeah, it doesn't matter a whole lot. I have it bent, it's like mainly I'm focused on the shoulder joint motion here, but I could have it here, I have it up close to me, that arm supported, right, like this. If I wanna go and take it up higher, I'm gonna change my position. You see how right there, I've got everything supported. I've got the distal humerus supported, and I've also got the distal portion of the lower arm, forearm supported. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to rock up, and then I'm gonna take it back. I'm going through these probably a little faster than what I normally would, okay, as I show you, but you guys get the idea for that. So that's abduction. If you do abduction, do not drop their arm below the plane, okay? That sets it up for impingement, and they're not gonna feel very good. So with abduction, either pure frontal plane or slightly forward into the scapula, then go back, okay? Next, I'm doing external rotation. I can use a towel, or I can hold it like this. Sometimes if I feel like I don't have a table, I don't have a towel handy, I can hug it up like this. Do you see how I'm hugging it up against my hip here, and that should feel good and supported. And then I'm just gonna take him back here, like this. This is my external rotation here. When I come back around here, I have the same thing. I can use a towel too as well. I'm gonna go into internal rotation, right, like that. And I'm keeping an eye on his face. Shannon will tell you toe twitches matter too. So she's like, sometimes people will start curling their toes or get kind of like nervous feet or legs if they're having discomfort. So you can watch that as well. Okay. I can also do horizontal adduction. If I do that, I'm gonna take it out to a pure plane, not beyond, and I'm just gonna take it straight across. Good. And then take it back. Note that I got my segment supported as I go ahead and do that. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll give you about 10 minutes, and I want you to do range of motion. What I would suggest is if you do flexion on one side, do abduction on the other side, because when you have to go to the other side,